Welcome to this detoxing body and mind vinyasa flow. As we go through, we will be doing the typical detoxing poses, which are forward folds, side bends, and twists. We will also be detoxing our energy centers, also known as the chakras. And this will get the flow of energy going for some balance, to refresh ourselves, and for release of stagnant energy. All right, so we're going to start this practice in child's pose. I will be doing this inversion free, but you do you. We're going to start off with a nice wide positioning of the legs, knees mat width apart, big toes underneath your sit bones. And if you're not inversion free, then just go right into your child's pose, melt it forward. If you are inversion free, then prop it up. Use your blocks and your bolster or a rolled up towel or blanket so you have a little elevation here. Once you're all set up, melt it forward, and we'll stay here for a few breaths. On your inhale, gently lift the head and press up onto your hands. Exhale where you need to. We're going to thread the needle here in our child's pose. So take the right arm, bring it underneath the left. Shoulder comes to the middle of the mat or the middle of your props, and gently lower it down. Now, if you need to, you can bring another prop underneath the head if your neck doesn't like to be in this position. And then once you're set up, the left arm can either stay pressing into the mat, or you can bring that arm behind you into a bind. Once you're there, just simply breathe and allow yourself to be passive in this twist. Gently release the arm from behind you if it was in a bind. Press into the left hand and bring yourself back up to neutral. Two hands on the mat just for a moment, and then we switch to the other side. Left arm will thread underneath the right. Bring the shoulder to the middle of the mat or the middle of your props, and then ease down onto that shoulder and the head. Find your twist, and you can take the right arm and bring it behind the back into a bind if you choose. And again, let's stay here for a few breaths. Gently release the arm from behind you. Press down into that right hand, bring yourself up to neutral. Now, if you're using props, let's move them out of the way. We'll come back to them later. And press up into screaming toe. So the legs will come to parallel. Tuck the toes underneath. If the pinky toe has a hard time joining, help it out. Once your little toes are connected, you can either keep the hands on the mat, or you can start to walk them up the thighs, whatever intensity feels right for you in the moment. Good. One more full breath here in screaming toe. Gently release the hands down to the mat, walking them forward towards tabletop. Release the feet, give the toes a squeeze. Very slowly and gently start to move the feet around. And then bring the tops of the feet back to the mat. And we'll take a few rounds of cow and cat. On your inhale, lifting the heart and the tail. As you exhale, engage the belly and curl into cat. Inhale, arching the spine. Exhale, curl. Last round, inhale up into cow. Exhale into cat. On your next inhale, come to your nice neutral spine, and then exhale, extend the right leg back, ball of the foot tucks onto the mat. So you're still connected. And gently press back, get a nice stretch through the calf muscle. Now bring your weight back to neutral. Take the right foot, cross it over to the opposite side of the mat, so it's crossing over the left leg. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, peek around and look at your foot. This provides a nice stretch through the right waistline, the quadratus lumborum in the lower back. Good. On your inhale, come back to neutral. Exhale, bring the knee underneath the hip. Inhale the other leg back. Exhale, press into the heel so you get a nice stretch to the back of the leg. Bring yourself to a neutral position. Take the leg, cross it all the way over to the other side. Ball of the foot still connected. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, peek around and look at your foot. This time stretching out the right side of the body. On your inhale, come back to neutral. Left knee comes underneath the hip. You can walk the hands forward a little bit, and let's find plank. Tucking both sets of toes, lifting up those knees. Take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, take your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale to child's pose or downward facing dog. We'll stay for about 3 breaths. Good. From here, coming forward to the top of your mat, lifting halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Good. Let's take one full breath with the arms. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Moving now into chair pose. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up by the ears, or alternatively, you can always bring the hands to the heart center, your choice. Enjoy building up some heat here to get our detox going. Good. From here, take a twist in your chair. So either release the hands and bring them to the hip and thigh, or if you can do this without dipping into an inversion, and this is for everybody, elbow comes around the thigh. Once you do this, this isn't as beneficial. We want to keep the knees nice and soft here. So take your twist where you need it to go. Now shift your weight into the right foot, release the left heel. Step back, find a twisted crescent pose. If the balance is wonky, it's all good. It's all part of the process. Lift the eyes once you find your balance. And then extend the arms out to your shoulder height, palms face the right side of your space. Good. On your inhale, sweep the arms up by your ears. Exhale, flip the back heel down and in so that you come into your warrior one. Settle into your warrior one. Engaging the lower belly, pulling it up and in. Good. From here, hop the back foot forward about a stride. So you have about 3 feet or a meter of space between the feet or the heels. Twisted triangle, hands come to the waist. Inhale the left arm up. As you exhale, twist from the waist and then fold from the hips. Now this top arm, your left hand can come above the knee, below the knee, or to a block. If you're not inversion free, then you can always bring the hand all the way to the mat. Once you're in your twist, you can either keep the hand on the waist, bring it behind the back, or extend it out of the shoulder. Totally up to you. Bring the eyes down to the mat. We'll move into standing split. Blocks are optional here. Shifting the weight forward into that right leg, lifting the left. Enjoying the stretch through the hamstring. Don't worry about the height of the floating leg. Just make sure that it's energized. From here, if you're folded forward, inhale, lift the head. Exhale, soften the knee, reach the other toes back, come into your high lunge. Bring the left hand down to the mat. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, let it open up behind you, getting a nice chest opening, twisting through the spine. From here, bring the hands back to the mat. Find your way to plank and take your vinyasa. From your down dog or your child's pose, find your way up to the top of the mat, lifting halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Take a full breath with the arms. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale, chair pose, bend those knees, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands can come to the heart. Let's move into the twist right away. So the hands come to the outer hip or thigh on the left leg, or drop more into those hips and tuck the elbow. Totally up to you, wherever your body can go right now. Breathe here. Shift your weight into the left foot, right heel releases. Step back with that right foot and find your twisted crescent pose. From here, release the arms out to your shoulder height. Palms face the left side of your mat. Now sweep the arms up by the ears facing the front of the mat. Warrior one. Back leg outwardly rotates, heel comes down and in, and settle into warrior one. Hop the back foot forward about a stride so we can come into our twisted triangle. Hands come to the waist. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, twist the ribs to the left and then fold from the hips. The right hand can either come to the thigh, to the shin, to a block, or the mat. Keep opening the chest, rotating it to the left. And the top arm can stay on the waist, can bind behind the back, or extend out of the shoulder, your choice. From here, we move into our standing split. So square off the shoulders, use your blocks if you need to. Shift your weight forward. Finding the balance on the left leg, right leg floats up, activating the hamstring. Breathe here. If you are folded forward, inhale, lift the head. Exhale, soften the standing knee, reach the other toes back, find your high lunge. Right hand comes down under the shoulder. Inhale the left arm up, exhale, twist, let that arm fall behind you. From here, bring your hands down to the mat. Find your way back to plank and take your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale back to down dog or child's pose, resting here. Take one more breath here in your child's pose or downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to find our way into lizard pose. So whatever way makes sense to you, bring your right foot forward. Once that foot is up there, heel toe it out to the right edge of your mat. Then flex the ankle so you're on your heel and outwardly rotate from the thigh bone, right? So the whole leg is going as one piece, and then ease into that hip stretch. Now you can use blocks here underneath the hands if you'd like for more height. If your wrists aren't happy, of course, you can always make fists. But our focus here is opening up those hips, the inner thigh area, the groin area. Allow the shoulders to move away from the ears. And of course, if you want more intensity, you can always fold forward here if that's available to you. And I'll offer you one more option. Let's get into the quad muscle. So if you're folded forward, you can stay down there, especially if you know you have open quadricep muscles. You're going to bend up the back leg, and the opposite hand is going to reach back so that you connect to the foot or the ankle. This will require a little twist through the spine. Just make sure that the chest stays away from that front thigh. And pull the heel towards the sit bone slowly and mindfully. And breathe. One more breath. Gently release the hand off the foot. Bring the hand to the front of the mat. If you're folded forward, come up onto your hands. Start to shift your weight back. You can use your blocks here if you'd like. We'll come into half monkey. So straightening out that front leg, then heel toe it in front of the hip. Flex the ankle. Inhale, sit up nice and tall through the spine, and then exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Looking for a nice healthy stretch through the back of the right leg. Toes are pulling up towards the knee. And breathe into this stretch. One more breath. Good. If you are folded forward, bring yourself up on an inhale. Then shift your weight into that front foot. We're going to bring the hands forward. And it can come to the inside of that front foot. It's fine. Tuck the back toe, lift the knee. Now from here, heel toe your right foot across the mat so we can go into pigeon pose. Once it's across, you want to lay on the top of the foot over the ankle and the shin bone. The knee comes down to the opposite edge of the mat, then inch down through those hips. So you're sinking into a nice hip opener. Now, if you want support under the right hip, use a block or a pillow underneath that right hip and stay upright for a few breaths. This provides a nice back bend, opening up through the chest and actually through all of the chakras in the body. Bring energy and light into those areas. Now, if you'd like to, you can fold forward here, coming onto the forearms. Just be mindful if you decide to bring the head down, that you find support under the head. So whether it's a block or your hands, or you're all the way down to the mat, just make sure that head is supported. You can always keep it active instead, right? You have options here. But we don't want the head to be dangling, because once the head dangles, then it gives us a sense of insecurity. We don't want that. We want to feel nice and secure and protected. On your next breath, lift the head if you're folded forward. Exhale where you need to. Walk up onto your hands. Remove any props from underneath your sit bones. And then sit on that right hip. We're going to turn to face the side edge of the mat for a nice open Janu Shirshasana. So adjust this straight leg so the knee and the toes are pointing upwards. The other foot comes to the inner thigh area. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And then exhale, side bend over that straight leg. And this left hand can either touch the shin bone on the left leg or the right leg, wherever your shoulder is more comfortable. Top arm can float up and over the ear. Make sure that you're opening the chest and you're lifting this right armpit straight up to the sky. Good. On your inhale, come all the way up through vertical. Exhale, bring the hand down to the mat about a foot away from the hip. We're going to shift our weight onto the right hand and right knee. The back leg floats up. Press the hips forward. Nice big full body stretch. From here, two hands on the top of the mat. Find your way to plank and take your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back to child's pose or downward facing dog. We'll stay for about 3 breaths. Good. From here, find your way into low lunge with the left leg in front. So swing that left foot forward and then bring it to the outer edge of the mat. Flex the foot, outwardly rotate the thigh. Move the leg as one piece and then let that foot come down and settle into your lizard pose on this side. Just breathe and release into that hip. Whenever you feel ready, if you want to, you can fold forward, coming onto the forearms or onto blocks. And your next option is to do the quad stretch. So securing yourself on the right hand, bend up the back foot, opposite arm reaches back, looking for the foot or the ankle, and then gently pull the heel towards the sit bone. Enjoying the twist, opening the chest, making sure there's a lot of distance between the front thigh and the ribs. If you're holding onto the foot, gently release it. Let's bring ourselves into half monkey. So shifting your weight back, you can bring the blocks with you a little bit. Weight onto the right knee. Straighten the left leg and bring it in front of the hip. Flex the ankle. Inhale, sit up nice and tall through the spine, and then exhale, start to fold forward. Enjoying that nice hamstring stretch. The more you pull the toes back, the more you'll feel it behind the knee and through the calf muscle. If you're folded forward, inhale, lift yourself up to vertical. And then exhale, start to shift forward into your low lunge. You can move the props to the side of the mat. Tuck the back toe and lift the knee. From here, heel toe the foot across the mat to make our way into pigeon pose. Once your foot is across, lay down on the top of the foot through the shin bone to the knee. And then ease into your hips. Coming up onto fingertips, arching through the spine to start. Stay here for a few breaths. If you'd like to fold forward at any point, feel free to do so. If you are folded forward in your pigeon pose, bring yourself up onto the hands. Move any props out of the way and have a seat onto your left hip. As you do that, rotate and face the side edge of your mat. And if you need to help out the straight leg, the right leg, go ahead and do that so the knee and the toes are pointing upwards. Then inhale, extend the arms out to your side to a T, and exhale, side bend over the straight leg. Remember that this hand can either come to the shin bone on the straight leg or the bent leg, either way. Give a nice side bend here because our focus is really to open up the waistline. So make sure that you keep opening the heart to the ceiling or the armpit upwards. And just breathe here. On your inhale, come back up through vertical. Exhale, bring that hand down to the mat about a foot away from the hip. Pressing the weight up onto the left knee and the left hand. Sliding the back foot, giving yourself a nice big stretch through the front of the body. From here, find your way back to plank and take your vinyasa. Pressing back into your child's pose. Take one more nice big breath. Let's find our way onto the belly. Whatever way makes sense for you. And once you are on your belly, move any props out of your way that happen to be in the front portion of your mat. We want a little bit of space here. Bring the fingertips forward, in line or just slightly wider than the shoulder. Elbows are bent and we're on fingertips. Legs are roughly underneath the hips, can be a little bit wider if you know your low back is tight. On your inhale, press down through the fingertips, lift with the crown of the head into a cobra. As you exhale, lower down. Let's take that again. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, lower. Let's move the hands now, slightly to the outside of your mat, much wider than the shoulders this time. Inhale, press to the fingertips, crown of the head lifts up. Exhale, lower. And again, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. Staying on the outside of the mat, move the fingertips down now so they're in line with your shoulders. As you inhale, crown of the head lifts. Exhale, lower. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now we bring our hands to the traditional positioning for Cobra, so flat palms underneath the shoulders, elbows close to the ribs. On your inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. Let's go one last time. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. Good. Bring the hands underneath the forehead, stacking them, and then the forehead rests on the hands. Bend the legs up and gently windshield wiper from side to side. This is a wonderful release for the lower back. Once you've done both sides equally with those legs, come back to neutral. Extend them long underneath you. Tuck the balls of the feet. Hands underneath the shoulders. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, engage the abdominals first. Lift them off the mat. Then press up and find your plank. Stay here for a few breaths. Good. From here, lower down the knees. Crawl it forward. And let's extend those legs out in front. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine, sit bones connected to whatever you're sitting on. As you exhale, scoop the belly and then walk the hands down the legs to whatever they can hold on to. We're looking more so for the abdominal engagement here, pulling it up and in. And then secondly, looking for a nice stretch through the backs of the legs. So the lower back we kind of want out of the equation. There may be a slight tugging sensation, but we certainly don't want any pain there. So if you are curled over and all you feel is lower back, then lengthen through the spine instead. This will take the pressure off of your lower back. I don't know if you can hear her, but Socks is outside singing the song of her people. On your inhale, lift the head. Exhale, gently release. Let's take this right leg now. We're going to cradle it so you can hold on to the foot and the outer leg, or if the foot can come to the crook of the elbow, feel free to bring it there and then gently rock from side to side. This hip should be pretty open by now since we did that nice long pigeon pose, but just in case it's not, we'll give it a little extra love. So from here, bringing yourself into half lotus, we're aiming to bring the ankle to the crease of the hip, but if it doesn't reach, it's fine. Anywhere between above the knee and the hip is good. We want the ankle to poke the center of the thigh muscle. I know it doesn't feel really nice, but it's okay. It's a trigger point and it will subside. From here, bring your hands behind you. We're going to step up the bottom foot. I'll give an alternative for this in a second. If you do Ashtanga, you know where I'm going with this. We're going to shift our weight over into the right hip. So this left hip is now lifted. From here, twist. Ooh, talk about a detox. So you got the twist, you got the hip opening, and you have your heel poking your belly. So this does physically get things moving, if you know what I'm saying. So just breathing here. The alternative for this would be half Lord of the Fish with the right leg tucked underneath. You'll still get the twist and the hip opening. It's just a little less on the belly and of course the ankle. All right, from here, inhale, bring the eyes to the front. Exhale, gently release everything out. Give the legs a good shake, a little rock, a little pop. Now let's take the left leg and bring it into a cradle, gently going from side to side. From here, half lotus. And it's okay if this side is different than the other. Maybe the heel comes closer or not, doesn't matter, as long as you have a nice healthy stretch here. Hands come behind, step up the bottom foot and shift your weight onto the left hip. From here, if it's available to you, twist around to the right. If this is like no way, no how, it's all right. Take the left foot underneath and come into your half Lord of the Fish instead. On your inhale, bring the eyes to the front. Exhale, gently release, untangle those legs, give them a good shake, a little rock and a little pop. And then from here, we will take bound angle pose. So pulling the bottoms of the feet together, heels towards the sit bones, sitting up nice and tall. And as you exhale, just gently fold forward. You can use the elbows here to give yourself a little assistance, or just relax it forward. Nice gentle breath. One more inhale. One more nice big exhale. And gently bring the spine up through vertical. Exhale where you need. Use your hands on the legs and close them. And gently rock from side to side. All right, so one more pose before we get into our Savasana, and that's legs up the wall. So feel free to move up to a wall if you have one. If you don't have a wall near you, I don't know why you wouldn't, but hey, you never know. You can bring a piece of furniture or bring your mat up to a piece of furniture, a chair, a couch, the edge of your bed, whatever you have, and bring yourself close to it. If you are inversion free, then you want to set up your props so that you're not laying flat. 2 blocks, and then your bolster and or blanket. So you're on a nice diagonal there. And then we lay back and bring the legs up. Another fantastic way to detox. Give yourself a little bit of a rest. We stand up so much, or we're sitting in chairs so much, that it's nice to have the blood flow the opposite way. Right? This is nice and restorative for the body. Let your arms just rest out to the side. You can close the eyes here. And it's okay if the legs aren't straight. If they have a slight bend to them, no problem. We just want the feet to be the highest point. Just allow yourself to rest and relax here. Focus in on your breath. And check in again with whatever thoughts might be showing up at this point. Ask yourself if it's true. And if it's not true, or it doesn't support you positively, get rid of it. Let it leave your body, let it leave your energy with your exhale. Take one more nice big breath here with your legs up the wall. And allow the knees to come in towards the chest. If you're on a chair and you can move it easily, move it out to the side. If not, then just slide your legs underneath the chair and make your way into your Shavasana. If it's chilly where you are, bring a blanket over you to stay warm. Eyes are closed, palms are flipped upwards, and take rest. Gradually start to deepen your breath. Find energy in the fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, hands, and feet. Allow the arms to extend up by the ears. Bring the legs together long underneath you for a big full body stretch. And then pull the legs in towards you. Either hug them into the chest or bring the feet mat width apart and windshield wiper the legs from side to side. If you're hugging the legs in, gently rock from side to side. Find your way onto your right side, rolling into fetal position. And use the bottom arm as a pillow for your head. Gently press yourself up to a seated position. Eyes remain closed. And either place one hand on the heart and one on the belly, or press the palms together in front of the heart center. Take a few moments here to check in with how you feel. How do you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually? I'll take a few moments here for some gratitude, something you're thankful for in this moment, and a few reasons why. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. One thing I want to mention to you before we say goodbye is that sometimes when you do a detox practice, it won't hit you right away. Sometimes emotions bubble up a little bit later. It could be hours, it could be the next day. So if you're feeling different and you're not sure why, take some time to sort that out for yourself and figure out maybe it came from the practice. And if it did, it's okay. We need to experience these things. We need to let them go, and experiencing them is letting go so that you can create new space for new energies to come in. So have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.